Hello and welcome back to Project Prototech. So, in the last episode, we went ahead and we took down our first unidentified signal, which just so happened to be the high profile transport ship. From that, we successfully got a small grid Prototech Jump Drive. We have two large grid Prototech gyroscopes. And then finally, we got the large grid Prototech thruster. Yeah, about that. If you look at my ship, you will see a distinct lack of large grid Prototech thruster on it. So, after last episode, I said goodbye to you all because I was going to go ahead and scrap the ship and finish salvaging everything off camera. Well, also off camera, a cult ship showed up, called in a drone, and after I deleted the weapons off both the ships, the drone decided to fly right in the back and take out that center thruster, which I had replaced with the Prototech one, completely destroying it. There wasn't even Prototech scrap left. Yeah, I'm not exactly happy. Um, but at least we have Prototech gyros and then the small grid Prototech Jump Drive. Um, yeah. So after going ahead and debating whether or not I should rage quit due to the cult, I decided to go ahead and continue playing. And my goal has been to come on closer to the Earth-like planet because the one thing that I am missing and that I cannot get in space is veggies. And as nice as the fruit bars are, I would love to go ahead and start eating some spaghetti because then I only have to eat like once an hour instead of every half hour. However, this led to another fun little problem. Uh, as it is, with all the thrust that the blunderbuss has on it, I can afford to lift off about 10 or 11 million kilograms. And if you look in that bottom right hand corner, you can see that I'm currently rocking 13.5 million kilograms. Now, a little bit of that is that gremlin light that is currently attached to the back. But most of it is because if I come on over here to my inventory, I can go ahead and scroll on down, and you can see that there's 1.25 million kilograms in this cargo container. There is just short of 3 million kilograms in this cargo container, most of which is just iron. There's another 600,000 kilograms in this cargo container, and a mere 200,000 in this one. So I could possibly land on the planet if I were to go ahead and just throw all of my iron ingots out. But I kind of want those. That's my loot. That's how I'm going to help repair my ship. Whenever, somebody else shows up and blasts my stuff. Um, so that means that I need to find someplace to park this thing, and I have been idly looking for a nice spot of ice. I haven't found any recently, but that's a different story. And then I caught this gremlin light, and I was debating about taking it on down. However, then I was also taking a look at my Prototech Jump Drive over here. Alright, and once again, my lovely little kitties are jumping on top of my computer and knocking at my Bluetooth. Um, anyways. So, if I come on over here, I have this tiny little tug, and you can see also that I installed those two Prototech gyroscopes right back here. They're technically, I guess something could go ahead and shoot them, but it's not too likely. Also, I have a pair of ion thrusters that I might toss onto something. And those build and repair systems are annoying me. One moment. Go ahead and turn off. But I have the Prototech Jump Drive right here. I really want to build something using this Prototech Jump Drive. But I could not figure out what I wanted to build. So I have been doing a lot of fiddling around and trying to come up with a design that I liked that made use of that. And I think I have finally found something. So let me go ahead and rather than taking this large grid ship down for, well, a veggie run, which, yes, I guess I could do, but, you know, let's go ahead and make use of this nice, lovely printer bay and print a ship making use of this Prototech Jump Drive. So, also there's apparently a Parallax basic shuttle that is approaching me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on over here, park, take a look at that basic shuttle. Nope. Is that large grid or small grid? Looks like it's just ion powered though, so it doesn't really do what I need it to. Anyways, so let's go ahead and pop on over to my development world, and I will show you the ideas that I had for a small grid ship making use of that Prototech Jump Drive, and then I will also show you what I finally settled on. So give me just a moment and we'll be right back. Alright, so welcome to my development process. As you can see, I went through a bunch of iterations as I tried to figure out what the heck I wanted to do, and eventually came up with 4 ship designs that I was happy enough with. However, one of them is the one that I'm going to go ahead and build in my survival world. So, my first thought was to come all the way over here. So I wanted to go ahead and have cargo, fit that jump drive, fit a pair of nuclear reactors because jump drives are hungry, and then from there I just started slapping on some armor plates, put on some side Gatling turrets, and just tried to see if I could go ahead and make this work. Now, there's 2 very specific requirements that my ships are having for this. Requirement number 1 is that they have to be planet capable. So that means that ion thrusters are okay, but I also need enough hydrogen to be able to at least, at a bare minimum, lift off from the planet. And you can see that over here, I went ahead and went with some bottom hydrogen thrusters and some rear hydrogen thrusters. But this is primarily a space vessel. So yes, it can land on the planet, and it can, go zoom zoom, if you're on the planet. But it's primarily designed as a space vessel because you're trying to take advantage of that Prototech Jump Drive. Aside from that, The dimensions are it has to be less than 5 large grid blocks wide and less than 2 large grid blocks tall. So that limits me to 25 small grid blocks wide and 10 small grid blocks tall. That's also why I went ahead and stuck the turrets on the side of this, because I have more wiggle room side to side. So you can see I've got 5 from there, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's basically 6 blocks there to that. Double that for that side to 12. Add the middle, so that's 17 blocks. So I have some wiggle room for the turrets to, well, act like they are. Coming on over here, you can see that I just went ahead and kind of finished putting armor on, and then tried to figure out how I would fly it. And here I was looking and I was thinking, I kind of want to have, an internal bay. I want to have the survival kit. I want to have access to my cargo. And all these things are nice, but, well, congratulations, you have slightly tapered a brick. Woohoo! Yeah. The extreme brick appearance here is why, even though this ship fits all my needs technically, and is, a kind of interesting ship in some ways, especially after I go ahead and I toss some armor panels on, do a little bit of greebling, add some landing gear. But yeah, I even painted it red, and there's little holes here, so it's a brick. It is a flying brick, and I do not want to have a giant flying brick for my ship. So, round 2. Again, I was trying to go ahead and have a survival kit and the jump drive and access to my cargo. So I was doing a little bit of experimenting around with what could I do to have a different interior that would give me what I'm looking for. I actually kind of like this interior, which has the jump drive and the survival kit right next to each other inside. But trying to get cargo through this, if you have anything anything that needs large conveyoring, is just not going to happen. So I then went and kind of slapped this thing together. So this has a single large hydrogen tank right there, a bunch of small hydrogen tanks. You can see coming in at the bottom here that there is a conveyor junction as the center point, and that is pushing back into that large warfare reactor and then into the hydrogen tank. On one side we have the survival kit, on the other side we have our medium cargo container, and then we have our jump drive. We also have an H2O2 generator, and then start sticking thrust in each direction. And then to back up the single large hydrogen tank, toss on a bunch of small ones as well. Continuing on, I decided to go ahead and put a pair of Gatling turrets on this, and then start kind of filling out the shape. You can see I continued filling out that shape. What I like about this one is, you get in the ship, there's your survival kit, there's your cargo access. The jump drive is a center point for this ship. And then, we greeble it up and then put red, and oh god, it's another brick! Yeah. The other thing about this one is I have the two large thrusters pointing downwards, as well as a pair of large ion thrusters. With this particular ship, the dry mass is 88,000 kilograms, almost 89,000. On Earth-like, one of these is can basically lift 48,000 kilograms. So this means that between the two of them, they actually cannot lift the ship off. You actually have to have those two and the ion thrusters to get off the ground. That isn't necessarily the worst thing, because, you know, the ion thrusters do work in atmosphere even if they are less effective. But as soon as the ion thrusters are only about 10,000 kilograms of extra thrust on the surface of Earth-like, so this means that this ship can do about 110,000 kilograms and still lift off. That's cutting it really close, even if the only cargo is a single medium cargo container. So, yeah. So I then started fiddling around and trying to figure out something else, and because I was tired of making bricks, I started looking at, okay, well, let's just go ahead and stick a cockpit on. So some ideas were going ahead and sticking hydrogen tanks down the side and maybe some large cargo containers, get some sort of shape that way. Fiddle around a little bit more, maybe, you know, shift things around a smidge. Try and see, you know, I don't need lots of large cargo containers because this is not like some sort of transport ship, but because I have that Prototech Jump Drive, I need to be able to charge it, which means at least one nuclear reactor, maybe two if possible. And just kept fiddling around, and then decided, well, what if I go for more of an angular shape and I bring that cockpit down? You can see I started doing a little bit of trying to figure out what that would look like. Can I still stick turrets on the side? And then from here, going for more of a wedge style design. The Prototech Jump Drive is exposed on the top of the ship, so it could potentially take damage. But since this thing is only armed with 4 autocannons, it's not really something that you are looking to, you know, do lots of combat with. It's just more, I want to blow up any drones that start coming at me. But a nice mix of hydrogen thrusters and ion thrusters. And then this particular ship has a dry mass of 77,000. We have 12 bottom-mounted thrusters, each of which pushes about 10,000 kilograms up, so 120,000 kilograms. And if we come up here, you can see that the way that this is designed is that we have the connector leading into a junction. There are 2 medium cargo containers, and then connected to 2 large hydrogen tanks. So this thing has enough thrust to get off the surface and fly without too much issue. But yeah, this is better than a brick, but still not something I was happy with. So I decided to switch the cockpit that I was working with. Grab the fighter cockpit, and basically this here is a fighter cockpit. I stuck an ion thruster there and a battery right behind. There's also an O2 tank, and then you can see that this is the connector coming up to that conveyor junction. Then I was fiddling around with, okay, so how do I get hydrogen on this thing? And I stuck it on the side, and I'm like, ooh, Y-wing. I want to make myself a Y-wing. But where could I go ahead and stick the jump drive? So, putting the jump drive on the bottom, I was able to go ahead. Technically, this is the same level as, you know, this. This might not be the best idea until I can go ahead and repair those Prototech panels, because I could always scrape the bottom on the floor, but, you know, I couldn't figure out another way to stick it on the ship, other than maybe shifting that to be back here. But if I'm going to be jumping, I kind of want to go ahead and have a survival kit with me, because if I'm jumping, I am not going to be anywhere near, you know, my main ship. So if I die, I want to be able to come back to it. So that's where the survival kit comes in. And both my bricks had the survival kit, but my little wedge did not. So then just going ahead, greebling it up, putting things in, putting in some ion thrusters. That way I have both ion and hydrogen. And you can see that I went ahead and I have the 4 forward-facing autocannons. They are basically one large block apart, so that's not the best, but you know, you can still put good damage forward. And then we also still have 3 autocannon turrets. And this is kind of the final variant of the ship. You can see we've basically got that forward cockpit. Do be aware, this is still not a great combat design because that forward cockpit is going to get itself shot out regularly. So, you know, have a backup plan. But let's be real, I don't really want to be taking my one Prototech Jump Drive into combat. This is more just it can defend itself from drones than, you know, a dedicated combat ship. But, you know, you put those pods on the side with the hydrogen tanks thruster on each end, and then just, you know, add some greeble, make it look cool, and that's... I called it the Razor, because I'm not sure that I want to just call this the Y-Wing and toss it up on the workshop, but close enough. And then we come on over here, and you can see the final paint job that I gave it. So this, again, more or less matches with the paint job of the blunderbuss. We've got that white, black, and orange in the sci-fi armor texture. So this does go in very well with my current existing ship. So this is what I have decided that I'm going to build to make use of that Prototech Jump Drive. And then since we have 12 small downwards thrusters, and the ship weighs in at 90,000 kilograms, that means that I've got about 30,000 kilograms of weight that I can carry. Since the cargo for this thing is a single medium cargo container, I should have more than enough. And of course I can always rotate up and, you know, I've got 2 large and then 2 large ion thrusters. And then, of course, I have 10 small ion thrusters facing downwards as well. So, this is what I decided to settle on. Don't ask me how many hours it took me to go ahead and come up with this design. Yeah. And then for printing it, I have the merge block located right here. When I am coming on in to go ahead and print it off, I'm going to print it. It's not going to be able to build the Prototech Jump Drive, obviously. And instead, what I will have to do is, you know, just go ahead and merge block that in and just kind of slide the jump drive in afterwards. Go ahead and stick that back on. Alrighty. So, enough about this. Let's go ahead and make this. So we'll be right back. Alright, so we are in here. There's the basic shuttle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on over to my little utility shuttle here. And you can see that I have a merge block located on it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to grab some steel plates. Oop. Alright. I thought I grabbed steel plates. There we go. Thank you. And then which side did I put the merge block on? On the left-hand side. So yeah, if I come out this way, I can go ahead and put the merge block on right there. And then let's go ahead and grab that projector again. Okay, so right now build and repair is off, so it's not going to help me. I do have to go through this, but you know, for me that's part of the goal, is to make use of that little welder area. I also need to come in here and take off the stuff that's on my jump drive. Okay, so at this point it is... Oh, no, there's still a pair of steel plates back here. And on the front. There we go, and now let's check the bottom. Alright, so there's the connector on the bottom, of course, but that is it. So the jump drive is ready to go. The merge, or the projector on this thing is ready to go, and the merge block is in place. Now I can go ahead and pop up and then come into my projector and then just call this razor. And now I'm going to come on in here to find the razor. And then we need to line that up. So first things first. Yep, we want it going that way. That way. And you can see the merge block is right there. That needs to line up. Did I make this too wide? Alright, well, let's see here. Let's go ahead and move forward this way. And then I need to horizontally offset it here. There we go. Alright, so that is what we call a tight fit. be able to fit it in? Alright, well let's find out together if it's got what it needs. Alright, so first thing off, welders. Let's turn these on. And then let's go ahead and check. Looks like I should have more than enough materials. And put that down. And let's see if we can print this thing off. Nope, wrong way, wrong way. Ah. All right. And everything is printing off nicely. I am scraping the walls a little bit, but it does technically fit. Huh. Oh, that's fun. Nope, 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 nope. Alright. If I scrape it on through... Can I get this out? Let's find out together. Nope, 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 nope. Come on. Come on. That's what I could do. Well, maybe I can't. Yeah, maybe. Well, I was too greedy. I made it too wide. And... Alright, fine. Merge block. Off. There we go. Now let's turn the laser projector off. See if I can sneak the utility shuttle out. If the gremlin wasn't in the way, I probably could have just pulled it out of the back, but I might need to move that. Alright. So step one is to park this thing. Come on. There we go. Alright, step two, let's go ahead and turn off those welders. And then let's see if we can get this bad boy out. Without breaking things. And the answer is yes, but only out the rear, which means that I need to move that gremlin. Alrighty. Oh yeah, it helps if I turn the thrusters on. Thrusters on? It has H2. Oh, the tank's on stockpile. Okay. There we go. Alright, now that that's out of the way, we can go ahead and finish backing this out. Out. Oh, turrets. Turrets, please stop. There we go. There we go. And we are free. Freedom. Full ion thrust. Let's go. Oh, it for some reason didn't complete my AI blocks. Alright. Well, I probably was like missing computers or something like that for that. But I will go ahead and turn build and repair on, and that will fix that up. Alright, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to bring this over here. And then we need to do like a proper cat and show us your belly. Alright. Now, the very suspicious gap here is where I need to go ahead and shove the Prototech Jump Drive. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and yeah, let's do this. Let's find that merge block again. Also, I will note here that if you are not a fan of playing around with merge blocks, there is a mod out there called, oh, I forgot the exact name, but it's for welder pads. Actually, I might be able to put this in right here like this. Come here. And that basically replaces the merge blocks with something a little bit more disposable. Alright, so we've got that. Now I need to come on over here. Come on, higher. Okay, don't care. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab my little tug. And bring this over here. And then if I'm putting it in like this, what I need to do is stick the merge block on here. And then slowly insert this on in. Alright, there's 2 medium cargo containers in here, not 1. Okay. And slide it in, slide it in, slide it in. There we go. Alrighty. And that is the jump drive installed. And then I can just bring my little tug back on over here, dock her up, alrighty. And then from here, I can basically just cut out these merge blocks. It is permanently attached. I don't need to worry about anything there. You know what, let me also just cut that out to make sure that the paint job gets the same. Put that in here. Turn this on down. And then get my projector here. And line that up properly. Oh god, of course it is. And then where's my projector? Here it is. Alright, and then let's... yes, the turrets are on top now. Oh, almost perfect. Now I just need to go ahead and that up a little bit. Oh, so let's just do keep projection. There we go. I am missing 7 armor blocks. Apparently. And now I can just take this thing, creep it on down here. And then using my camera, which is located directly in front of my connector. That. Oh. There we go. And ta-da, I am docked up. Alright. So, overall, it's not a great fit in this ship. It does technically fit, but while the blunderbuss is nice, the fighters types that I like are just, quite frankly, too large for this ship. So I think I might need to look at doing a new primary ship to replace. Thank you, Trade Station Administrator. To replace the blunderbuss. But that is that, all built up and ready for its flight. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to fiddle with the settings to make sure that that goes in. It gets loaded up with autocannon ammo, and then we will go ahead and start the journey down to the Earth-like planet. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Alrighty, so I have been fiddling around over here. If you are familiar with inventory managers, you might be familiar with Izzy's. I was using Izzy's while I was on Mars, but decided to go ahead and try out the Goat Inventory Manager, which is again available on the Steam Workshop. Just like Izzy's, it is a script that you load into a programmable block. However, one of the interesting things about it is that over here, it's going to pop up with knowledge-based things, or it's going to pop up and say, hey, I've got an error, you need to go ahead and name a cargo container with the OR keyword. or you're going to need to name a cargo container with the ingots keyword or whatever, so that way this knows where to put it. And then over here you can see it's got that full listing of all the things that I have. I could have gone ahead and extended this on over to be this one as well. But another interesting difference between the two is that when I come on over here with Izzy's, I had to go into the menu, into the custom data, and then start fiddling with the custom data to go ahead and set my auto crafting levels. Here, I come up to the auto crafting screen with Goat, and then I press F. And then, basically just like Izzy's, I can then go ahead and fiddle and say, this is everything that I want. I want to have these welders. I don't want any of them. I want X many of whatever I have. And again, it is going to go ahead and auto-fill out whatever you have created. So if it finds it in the cargo, it will go ahead and try finding it. And then
Meteor storm inbound.
You can see here I can change it also for seeds, which Izzy's has not been updated to go ahead and work with nicely. I can have it auto-craft my foods, all of my components, and so on. Again, also like Izzy's, it will go ahead and you can go ahead and have it stock your cargo containers. So I now have that. Should be stocking the cargo container for my racer. Let's see here. Okay, I need to reattach the gremlin light, and then bookmark this. That way we can head on down. Yep, there we go. And I'm probably also, since I finally found a version that I like of a small fighter or jump drive ship, gonna go ahead and have what's it called? This thing, well, build and repair, dismantle this thing. So. But I will do that after I get back. First things first, let's go ahead and do hydrogen tanks, and just set the blunderbuss ones onto stockpile, so that way it goes ahead and pulls everything out of that gremlin light. And then let's take this bad boy up for a spin. Alright, so now that we are disconnected... Really? I put stock in for these cargo containers. In stock cargo, custom details, auto cannon magazine. One moment, I need to go fiddling with the settings again, so I'll be right back. Okay, I decided I didn't want to fiddle with it anymore, so I just shoved the autocannon ammo into the cargo container of this thing, and then I will go ahead and fiddle with the inventory management script another day. So let's go ahead. Come on out here. And then GPS. Blunderbuss parking. There we go. Alrighty, so let's see how this thing performs. Can turn nice and easy. That's off. Alright, that's my forward thrusters off. Oh, and I need to go ahead and grab my jump drive. Decrease distance, increase distance, and of course, jump. Alright. So let's come on over here and just do a little practice by trying to mag plate this unknown signal. Maybe. Maybe. Come on. Alright, fine. I give up. Nothing special, and we get some grain seeds. Okay. Anyways. Okay. Alright. So now, time to head on over to the Earth-like planet. And land. So I'm not entirely sure how far away I am, but I figured that I will bring you back once I start going down. Alright, here we are entering the gravity field of the Earth-like planet. And since the whole reason to come down here is to hunt for veggies, I'm going to be aiming to come down and land somewhere in the kind of like this greener area, so I've had better luck finding veggies there. And though I haven't exactly been hunting for them, usually it's not a problem finding them. And I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and aim for this spot right over here where I have these two ice lakes. Because actually there's 3 ice lakes, because there's one there too. So, should give me plenty of space to choose from. And realistically, all I need is just one package of veggies. And as you can see now, I cannot jump anymore because I am in gravity. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and go away again and come back once I'm closer. So I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, here we are, 6,000 meters above ground level. Let's go ahead and turn our thrusters on. There is a parallax shadow nearby, so that's something to be aware of. Oh, nice little string of 3 lakes over here. So let's go ahead and come on down a little bit closer. And dampeners on. Oh, and of course the weather turns bad. Don't tell me it's saved till too late. Alright. 90% there are H2O2 generators on this, so I can go ahead and stock up on some ice to refuel. But let's go ahead and just do a quick check to see if we see any veggies popping out at us. Also, unidentified signal right over there. So, let's drop in altitude a little bit. Any veggies? Gonna suck if I have to use this survival kit to build a rover down here. Especially because, you know, I really want that unidentified signal. I see some grains, it looks like. Let's try and avoid hitting the ground. I hear it's bad for your health. Veggies. Oh boy. Nice lovely little boulders nearby. Ooh, is that veggies? I have a feeling it's fruit. Yep, just fruit. Ooh, whoa, that was a little bit too aggressive. Ow. Alright, well, I'm on the ground now. I'll turn my jetpack off. Alrighty, so let's jump around a little bit. See if we... Oh, more fruit. Well, the recording is getting kind of late, so unless I get really, really lucky shortly, I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and search the hunt, or save the hunt for fruit for next episode. Oh, veggies. I already have fruit. Yep. Looks like it. Oh, more fruit. Alright. Well, a quick search is not finding us any veggies. So let's go ahead, fly on over to our lovely little ice lake over here. And then we can... Whoa! Oh, that was... Oh boy! That was a little close. Maybe I need a smidge more clearance down here. Anyways, so that's where I'm going to go ahead and call this episode today. And then we will come back in the next episode and hunt for some more veggies. And hope that we can find some before the wolves get me. Ah! Alright, if you watched all the way to the end, thank you very much. And I will see you in the next one.